Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris meet with the White House COVID-19 response team. They brief on resources being sent to states, local communities to help with staffing need and hospital capacity, expanding access to COVID-19 treatment, and the latest data on the Omicron variant. Nearly 1 in 100 Americans have tested positive for the virus in just the last week. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, over 1 million cases were reported in the United States on Monday alone, although many of the cases were likely blockage from the New Year's weekend.
With $130 billion, with a B, billion dollars to specifically keep our students safe and schools open. Funding for ventilation systems in the schools, social distancing in classrooms, even larger classrooms, on buses and everything from bus drivers to buses, the actual bus. There are additional, in all this process, we also back then included an additional $10 billion for testing for schools. That money went out to the states, and the states and the school districts have spent this money well, many of them, but unfortunately, some haven't. So I encourage the states and school districts to use the funding that you still have to protect your children and keep the schools open. Countries across the world are seeing rising cases. Here in the United States, our team has been working around the clock during the holiday weeks. In the last 2 weeks, we have developed hundreds of military, we have deployed, I should say, hundreds of military doctors and nurses to staff the hospitals in our states that are overrun and overworked because of unvaccinated COVID-19 patients primarily. Google, quote, COVID test near me. Go there, COVID test near me on Google to find the nearest site where you can get a test most often and free. Look, with more capacity for in-person tests, we should see waiting lines shortened and more appointments freed up. Look, if you want to test yourself at home, we have 3 options now. 1, drugstores and online websites are restocking. 2, so the more tests are available, we're going to continue to become available. Next week, our requirement that your insurance company reimburse you for at-home tests takes effect, so you don't have to get reimbursed. So if you're insured, you can buy the test and get paid for it. The second thing I want to mention is many states and local governments and healthcare providers are passing out free at-home tests that you can pick up. Just find out where they are. And finally, as I announced recently, the federal government is launching a website this month where you can get tests shipped to your home for free upon your request. The third point I'd like to speak about is on treatments. For those at high risk who do get COVID-19, we now have a new Pfizer pill that greatly reduces the risk of hospitalization and death. I'm pleased to say that on Christmas Eve, we shipped out the first batch of these pills that we purchased and received. And more will be shipped this week. They're already saving lives, but due to complex chemistry of the pills to make the pill, it takes months literally to make a pill. But production is in full swing. The United States has more pills than any other country in the world, and our supply is going to ramp up over the coming months as more of these pills are manufactured. Today, I'm directing my team to work with Pfizer to double our order from 10 million to 20 million treatment courses to be delivered in the months ahead. We may need even more. That's the estimate we need right now. We've already placed the largest order in the world. Now I'm doubling that order. These pills are going to dramatically decrease hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19. They're a game changer and have the potential to dramatically alter the impact of COVID-19, the impact it's had on this country and our people. Look, let me conclude with a quick recap. If you are vaccinated and boosted, you may get COVID, but you are highly protected against severe illness. Schools can and should be open this winter. We have all the tools to keep kids safe. Unvaccinated kids are at risk Yet the vaccinated are going to have a way to protect them. Get vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, get boosted. Folks, I know we're all tired and frustrated about the pandemic. These coming weeks are going to be challenging. Please wear your mask in public to protect yourself and others. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. We have the tools to protect people from severe illness due to Omicron if people choose to use the tools. We have the medicines coming along that can save so many lives and dramatically reduce the impact that COVID has had on our country. There's a lot of reason to be hopeful in 2020. But for God's sake, please take advantage of what's available. Please. You're going to save lives, maybe yours, maybe your child's. Please take advantage of what we already have, okay? So thank you. Now I'm going to get this briefing started. Thank you very much.
So